Okay, we're live.
I'd like to call the Smithfield Town Zoning Board to order. Present tonight, Peter Carnavale, Ryan Bellman, Linda Marcello, Ted Savito, I'm John Hunt. Our solicitor is David Osillo, and our clerk is Sharon Gilmore, and the stenographer is Carol Ogden.
In case of an emergency, there are two main exits out of the chambers. The first is to the right side of the stage, up the stairs, through the doorway, and down the stairway at the back side of the town hall. The second is out the back of the chambers to the exit doorway, to the stairway up front of the town hall. The men's facilities are through the back of the chambers, past the stairway, around the corner on the right, and the ladies' facilities are through the back door of the chambers, up the stairs, and on the left. Please do not use the elevator in times of emergencies.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from our October 1st meeting?
Yes.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Hold on.
Should be November.
Yeah, so it's a typo.
All right. November. Yeah, me either, 'cause-
You're doing it, you're doing 100%. Okay.
So let's have a new motion to approve the minutes from October, November, is it
Aye.
5? November.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 5, 2005 with the one revision related to the meeting minutes of being revised to November 5th versus, no, that's correct the way it is, because we approved the minutes from the October meeting at the start. I did read it right.
Yes, you did. You did.
Oh, so that is,
I'm reading it.
Yeah, because we approved the October meeting minutes at the November meeting.
All right.
so don't forget that.
So the motion is to approve the minutes from November 5th, correct?
Yes. Because you called for a motion to approve the October
Mhm.
1st,
Yep.
2025. So the motion is to approve the November 5th, 2025 meeting minutes with no amendments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. First case.
The first case is 25-20. Danielle Saunders, applicant and owner of a property located at 88 Deer Run Trail, listed as Assessor's Plat 12/26, seeks the special use permit under section 4.3.8.4 and 4.4.8.4, animal raising non-commercial outdoor, to own 2 picking goats in an RPU district.
Anyone here that would like to speak on this case? Yeah.
You do have, unfortunately, you do have to speak. This is a board of record, so you have to provide testimony under oath as to what your plan is and what you're doing and answer questions. So, sorry.
Come up to the mic, please. Come up to the mic, please. Yeah. So first, identify yourself with the address, and then I'll swear you in.
Danielle Saunders, 88 Deer Run Trail,
Raise your
Smithfield.
right hand. Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes. So our family would like permission to raise 2 pygmy dwarf goats on our property. We're currently under the allotted ordinance for 3 acres for 2 animals. We have just under 2 acres, but our property is set back from the road. And all of our abutters are far enough away from us that we wouldn't be impeding on anybody's, on anybody's land or privacy. We're going to build them a suitable enclosure. We'll make sure that they're fenced in so that they can't get loose, that they can't get attacked by animals. They'll have suitable veterinary care. We've done a lot of research to ensure that we're doing this the right way, filed all the correct paperwork, and are asking permission to do it the right way. My children have a lot of allergies, so we're kind of at the mercy of not having animals in our house, but we'd like to have pet. So this is something that our family is trying to do, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. So thank you.
So are you aware of the relief that you're asking for is like 79,000 square feet?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Go first.
I'm all set.
What are the sexes of the two goats?
So we haven't decided. Males tend to be stinky, and if they are not neutered or whatever the proper term is for goats, they tend to smell. So if we did get males, we would make sure that they were, appropriately dealt with so that that wouldn't happen. Females have milk properties. We're not looking to do any commercial gain from that. We wouldn't be milking them. We wouldn't be selling soap or anything. They would purely just be residential pets.
Did a little bit of research, and what I've been able to kind of glean from what I reviewed is that these are great animals for kind of the situation that you put forth. The pen, the 20 by 20 pen, is that to meet the 200 square foot per animal that they recommend for grazing?
I think so. We're going to make sure that they're fenced in so that when they're by themselves, they can't get out. They'll have a goat shed, as we're calling it, where they're going to be enclosed at night, so they'll have adequate shelter. If we had them out during the day, we would make sure that they weren't just like running loose around the neighborhood. They'd be tethered. You can put them on leashes like dogs, and you can walk them around the yard. They eat poison ivy. So we would let them graze throughout the yard, but with somebody present. They wouldn't just be running around. If we needed to give them a bigger allotment to graze, we certainly have the space in the backyard to do that. We could extend that area, but I understand that if you extend the square footage, then there's likely going to need a building permit to do that, because it would be a bigger area, or a fence permit, because the fence would be larger than
What?
needed.
I think the fence is required as part of the animal control ordinance.
Yeah, we're going to put a fence, but I'm saying like the square footage there, I think I had read somewhere that the bigger square footage that you had for a fence, there were different, stipulations that went along with it.
The actual pen itself, it was a little bit difficult to kind of really understand what was going where based on the sketch that you provided. Is the pen within the fenced area, or is it outside the fenced area?
The shed enclosure thing, it would be within the fenced area.
Okay, so now that brings up that we may need additional relief because the pen where they're housed has to be 50 feet from any property line. So what I was able to glean from your sketch is that you wouldn't meet the 50-foot setback to an abutting residential property on the rear side of the property. You had 80 feet that you came off the side, but then you
Yep.
came 30 feet.
So the way I understood the ordinance was that the physical structure had to be 50 feet from a property line, which is what we were going to do, and then the fence itself would be surrounding that, and that would be 30 feet from a property line. But I do want to mention that that property line that's going to be 30 feet away from, the person that owns the next property has all woods between us and them. So like we would not be encroaching on like their backyard space or them having a cookout or anything
The
like that.
regs are still the regs. And as I said, I'm a little bit miffed that the staff didn't do a site plan review, which is required for a special use permit. There's certain criteria that the site plan must include, which wasn't included in our packets. And again, I'm generally in support of this. It's just, I don't want to set an unnecessary precedent where we don't have to.
The other option that we were looking at, and I understand that the current ordinance says, I think that they have to be within the backyard, not a front yard or a side yard, but we have a lot more room on the side yard that abuts the town line where the dam resides. So if we were to move it to the side and not in the back, we would be far enough away from an abutter line. It would just be abutted to that fence line where the dam is.
So you dovetail into one of my next comments. Are you opposed if this were to be granted, if I add the condition that you must submit for a certificate of regulatory applicability from DEM? The pond itself has a 100-foot setback. I think you can probably make it work. Again, I'm using the best available information I had. I think it's close enough where you could submit for an expedited review and probably get a response back within 30 days, but the agricultural exemptions that DEM's freshwater wetlands regulations allow only apply to established agricultural uses, so you would be new, so you fall under the regulations. So, and then the other question I had is, are you folks on a septic system or are you on sewer?
Septic.
So how are we going to manage the waste from the animals?
We would remove it and bring it to the town dump, because you can remove that as like waste.
Okay. It's,
Danielle, excuse me, Ms. Saunders, what size, I'm not familiar with the pygmy goats, but how big do they typically get?
They're like this big. They're like the little goats that you'd see at like a petting zoo or Southwick's, if you've ever been to Southwick Zoo, and they have the little goats running around.
So like
They're
poundage wise?
They're like a small dog.
30
like a
pounds, probably.
30 pounds?
The size of like a medium-sized dog.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you.
I appreciate it. Like I said, we're just trying to do this the right way and not upset anybody. Thank you very much.
Is anyone else here present that would like to speak in favor of this application? Please come up to the mic. Just identify yourself for the record, and then I'll swear you in.
My name's Erin Lapatoski. I am Danielle. Erin Lapatoski. Can you spell the last name? L-O-P-A-T-O-S-K-Y.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I live directly next door to Danielle, and I was just coming to say that we are in full support. We share pretty much a front yard, and we'll also be willing to help out if they go away or travel and they need any help with the goats.
What's your address?
80 Deer Run Trail.
And you abut, did you say you abut the property?
Yeah, like we share a front yard, essentially, driveway space.
The house is almost right on the street, right?
Yeah, I'm close to the street. They're set back.
Are you, yeah, are you on the corner? Kind of on the, like
Around the
it's
bend, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition of this application? Again, is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition of this application? Hearing none, I'd be willing to listen to a motion.
motion to take this under advisement?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Yeah. So what do you think?
Send motion to go into
Yeah, we did.
no,
No?
take it as motion to take it. under
Otherwise,
advisement.
we need a motion to take this under, to deliberate.
Motion to go into deliberations?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. So, For me, I thought it was a very dense population in that neighborhood there. A lot of houses are right on top of one another. I know this one was at the end of the street. I understand the goats are small, but I think the relief that they're asking for is excessive. Almost 2 acres of relief.
Well, I can understand that. And it is, but I'm holding some of that weight to the budding neighbor as well, and the fact that none of the other neighbors are here to contest it. And I feel like they were made aware of it, and they felt like it would be an issue for them in this neighborhood. I feel like somebody would be here to contest this application. So the fact that there aren't any here, and the fact that their neighbor right next door supports it, I don't know, I don't know, I feel like, I know that there's the back neighbor has, there's a lot of land between them. It's not right on top of the backyard, that particular neighbor. And the others, I feel like if they felt there would be an issue with any of it, that they would be here. So I'm kind of having a tug of war here because of that.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but we also have to take into consideration the other people that are living around there who may not have had the time to come here. They wouldn't have the ability to do the same thing on their properties because of where they live.
Or perhaps send a letter of rejection, which typically we may get from time to time, which I have not. I don't think any have been submitted.
I'm looking at this application is, what if they had 2 German Shepherds as pets? Basically, I'm looking at this as their pets. And I know quite a bit about these little animals because we have quite a few of them in Johnston, and they're the size of a dog. And they really don't make a lot of noise, so that the noise is out of it. I realize, Mr. Hunt, and you're absolutely right. But if she had 2 German Shepherds or 2 Rottweilers, she wouldn't be here. Because they're pets. And that's as I'm looking at this application, that these 2 little, whatever you're calling these
Pygmy
little
goats.
pygmy things, they're like little dogs. To look at it logically and wholeheartedly, I understand what you're saying, and you're right. But we have to look at it in a logic situation that they're pets. They're pets. And as far as Brian, I don't think DEM would even entertain this. If she went to ask anything from DEM, they would never entertain.
They absolutely would.
I don't think so.
I asked for a certificate of regulatory applicability, so you file, you're within the 100-foot of it's a jurisdictional area.
Okay, so let's make that part of the application, part of the
That's
resolution.
exactly what I said. Would she be adverse to a condition that she file for a certificate of regulatory applicability?
And let's go back to what I said initially. If she had 2 German Shepherds,
Still be doing it. But
Brian,
to your
I've
point,
never heard that in my 50 years doing this. Peter's been doing it, what, 75 years?
this is
I know.
this is the regulation.
Wholeheartedly. I understand what you're saying,
Regulation specifically says goats.
and you're right. But we have to look at this a little more logically.
I prefaced my remarks by saying I didn't generally have an issue. I had some questions. She's sufficiently answered the questions. I'm a little bit miffed that the staff couldn't do an adequate review.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, Ed. But I think the ordinances were created for a reason. It was 3 acres for a reason. And to just give up 2 acres of that relief to me is excessive. And I understand about the dogs. There could be 5 dogs back there. It wouldn't make a difference. and they would probably make more noise, but, you know, we all have opinions, and we'll judge it and vote on it based on what we think is the right thing to do for the applicant and the town. Is there any further discussion?
Motion to approve the request for the special use permit. The special use permit is specifically authorized by this ordinance in setting forth the provisions of supplementary use regulation, section 4.4, 8.4, which relates to animal raising for non-commercial outdoor, and the dimensional relief as requested. The special use, with the exception of the dimensional relief, meets all the criteria set forth in the subsection of this ordinance authorized by special use. Specifically, all the necessary setbacks have been adhered to. That the granting of the special use permit will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or the purpose of this ordinance or the comprehensive plan of the town. In doing so, the board shall has considered ingress and egress to the property, off-street parking and loading, and required yards and other open spaces, refuse and service areas based on the testimony provided by the applicant, and that there'd be no change in any utility requirements. That the applicant, by meeting the required setbacks from the separation from a residential property, has appropriately screened and buffered with reference to the dimensions. No signs would be required, and that is generally compatible with pertinent traffic, economic, noise, glare, odor effects of the special use permit based on testimony provided by the applicant. That the applicant, with a condition of submitting to the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management for a certificate of regulatory applicability, has taken sufficient steps to protect the sensitive feature, which is the Lower Sprague Reservoir, and will not create conditions that will exceed any of the performance standards.
What did you call the reservoir?
Lower Sprague Reservoir.
Lower Sprague.
Second.
So we have a motion. We'll do a roll call. Brian Thelman,
Yes.
Ed Sevito,
Yes.
and Marcello,
Yes.
and the chair votes no.
Yes.
And Peter, I'm sorry, Peter Cannavale. Yes. So 4-1, it passes. Motion.
Next is open.
To open it to public comment. Anybody here like to speak on any comments on anything we've done here, or
Just open comment.
just open comments? So, want to talk about how the Patriots did Monday night? Come on up. I guess we can discuss that.
I'd like to say thank you. I appreciate you taking it under consideration. We're going to do everything we can to make sure you do it the right way. I'm not going to do anything awful or anything like that.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Close public comment.
Close public comment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is closed.
All right. Merry Christmas. New Year. Yes. Remember to discuss.
We just need 4 to conduct the meeting, but our board technically has 5. So 5 are here, and they all can
Three. I don't know, I thought it was 1.
requirement.